Now we'll be able to tell if my camera is going to be giving me trouble or not. Hopefully someone will point it out in chat momentarily. Oh, it's already set up. Okay, perfect. Hey. Working. Okay, so what I need you guys to do in chat, I need you to look at my camera and listen to my audio and tell me if they are out of sync. Because in my OBS, they are. But on stream, they might not be. So this is really worrying me right now. Out of sync? Okay. Darn it. Okay, I have a quick way to fix that, but I'm not sure why it's doing it, so I'll have to actually troubleshoot it later. But my quick fix is I actually just drop my resolution a little bit, and for some reason it starts to work perfectly, which is just about the strangest thing ever. So how about now, guys? Does it actually look more accurate now? In theory, it is better. I don't know why it's doing that to me. It didn't used to do that at 4K. Man, sometimes I just really hate technology. Looks good? Okay. Thanks, guys. Sorry about that. I wonder if that means... Oh yeah, I gotta reset it up here too. This is partly why I go live early, guys, so we can work on silly things like this and try to get them right. It's just... I don't even change anything. Like, I change nothing week to week in Streamlabs OBS, and then like all of a sudden 1 week it'll just be like, bleh, this is not gonna work right this week. It's like, come on, man, I'm just trying to run a stream. God, golly. I don't think anyone has just your face displayed on their 4K monitors, Brian. Wow. Wow. It's actually not even a lie. Wow. Jay is silent? Really? You guys can't hear Jay? Hold on. I have no idea why. Give me a second. Why is Jay silent? Please silence me. Yes, I know. I can hear you. The question is, why can't they hear you? That's what I'm trying to figure out. 1 second, guys. What is going on here? Okay, he's not muted in OBS. What is going on here? Is Skype just being stupid? There's like no reason at all that they shouldn't hear you. Oh, golly. Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Oh my god. I think... OBS just really, really wants to mess with me today, apparently. Hold on, I have another idea. Okay, talk now.
Hello. Go on,
Okay,
chat. Tell me if you can hear me.
that should be better.
Am I fixed? Am I loud? Can you guys hear me? Tell me. Yay! Hallelujah.
Beautiful beards, it works. Okay, so here's what happened. OBS just decided to remove all of my default audio applications.
Wonderful OBS.
Just there wasn't even an OBS update.
How
is it doing this?
Just OBS things about. That's what we need.
Yeah, it's kind of like when a couple months ago I went to stream and it had moved my my North American server to like the Singapore server just for no reason at all, and like I was dropping like 98% of my frames.
Oh man,
it took like half an hour to figure out. Oh my god, what an absolute mess.
Yeah, when I was setting up the stream for the Burn build stream the other day, there was all sorts of stuff that just wouldn't work. It was bizarre, but hey, we got there in the end. And Luna Sama as well with the tier 1 sub 9 months in a row. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that.
Heck yeah. And 159 with 69 bits.
OBS, please. Yeah, absolutely. And Nebulin, I hope you like the miming. I saw you ask for that.
Heck yeah. Okay, so everything looks and sounds proper, right, guys? I don't know what other kind of OBS curveballs they threw at me without my knowledge. Geo just subbed with Twitch Prime for what I think is the maximum 16 months in a row.
16 months. Geo, legend. And Smallwind as well with 4 months in a row. Thank you very much, dude.
Heck yeah.
Thokbot wants me to point to the polycarbonate singer, so you should be able to just see it over my shoulder just here.
Vimindoron subs with tier 1 sub for 5 months in a row. Says, hey everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful night. Thank you, sir, very much. Hope you are as well.
Yeah, wonderful morning for me because it's like 2 AM at the minute. But
that's still nighttime. It's not morning until like 7 AM.
It's not morning until you've had a sleep, is it? Is
that's true. Yeah, it's right. Never the next day until I've slept. J-Shuff tier 1 sub for 3 months in a row. Thank you very much. All right. Well, if everything is looking and sounding hopefully the way it should, I'm gonna slap OBS in the face later.
We need to find a better streaming client.
There's like nothing other than there's like OBS and then there's like
OBS and Streamlabs, yeah.
Then there's like XSplit, which I think you have to pay for, and I don't think it's any better.
Tried it. Yeah, probably not.
Anyways, all right. I'm gonna roll a little intro here, guys. We'll get this party started. Alright guys, hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Top Clack. I am your host Quakums and I'm here with my co-host Jay. It is January 10th, 2019, and we're going to talk about keyboards this week. Big surprise, bet none of you saw that coming. And yeah, we got a nice news doc for you guys today, but we're going to do a little bit of a mail call first, just because that's kind of just fallen into tradition, if you will. So
something to show this week, Brian.
Yeah, I have a couple things, and I think you have a couple things as well. So
I have, I've got a few things. Yeah.
Why don't you start us off? Why don't you show us what you've been working on this week?
Okay, so this week I've had a few things come in. The first thing that's come in is this really nice little package, if you guys can see that, and inside here is my Nutcracker switch opener. So, we'll come apart. There you go. You see that? That's nice, lovely. Little switch opener. I haven't really tried it much yet, but it's really weighty. It feels like a good solid piece of kit. So I'm going to have a play around that on stream on Sunday when we do the T60 Noxry T60 build. So be there and watch that. Next, it's basically been PCB week for me this week. So the first thing that's come up is I've got a new Cyclops PCB. So this is for a prototype of a board that's coming in soon. TM from one of our EU members called Darth. He's making what's called the Borsdorf, which is basically an ISO AEK 66 key custom case. So I've already got one of these boards built that I did a few weeks ago in a KVD 661 case, but now we're going to have a proper custom case for it as well. Again, on PCBs, which seems to be everything that's coming this week, I've got two ANSI PCBs. So these are prototype ANSI PCBs for the ANSI group buy that's being run by Max at the moment, West Foxtrot. So I'm going to have a test around and play with those. And then finally, which is one you've probably been waiting for, Brian, I think you're waiting for one of these as well, HS60 V2. So this is also going to be featured on Sunday in the T60 build stream. This came through the post just yesterday. It is the ISO version, so you guys can wind me up about that if you like. But it will be on stream on Sunday where we'll have a look at it. It is VIA compatible. It's the first, as far as I understand, it's the first ARM compatible VIA board as well. So yeah, that should be interesting. And then the final thing that came through as well this week, which again will be in the build on Sunday, is I got a big bag of Helios switches. So Zil was kind enough to send me these through the post just the other day. Eventually they will end up going into the Zephyr, but just for this next week they're going to go into the HS60 and the hot swap and try them out. Yeah, not a bad little week.
Is this your first time trying the Helios?
It is, yeah. So I actually had to play with them earlier on in the week. I haven't put them in a board yet, but they're pretty nice. They're really nice. Smoother than I expected, but I'm still going to lube them, give them a try, see how they go.
Nice. So I got a couple things in as well. Actually, I totally forgot to grab this. Let me see if I can roll my chair over and hopefully get this from off stream. There we go. All right, so I've had a Norma Force, a space station white Norma Force. I've been waiting on using for a while. And I was waiting on that because I didn't have a real Force, but one finally showed up that I bought a while ago. This one I snagged for a pretty good price. I paid $80 US shipped for it from Singapore, I think, or somewhere in China maybe. And
$80.
$80, but it has no domes.
What?
It has no domes. That's why it was $80. But thankfully, I have lots of BKE domes of all weights. So I was like, score, I don't need domes, perfect. Send me that board. So I got that. It's kind of a Stormtrooper thing going on. The stock white, light gray case and the black stock caps. Liked those. Really wanted the black caps to match the space station white Norma Force. So that's going to be a really nice contrast. So I'm going to be tearing that apart and lubing that, putting some BKE domes in that, and putting that in the Norma Force next week in a build stream. So look forward to that. I don't think I've done a Topra build stream at all yet. So this will be fun. This will be a first for me on stream. So really looking forward to that. I also got a nice little microphone that goes on my camera. This is the Rode Video Micro. And some of you have been wondering where some videos from me, where they have been, because I have a lot of videos I've been working on, but none of them actually published yet. And part of the reason why is because I've been trying to record audio using a lav mic, and the one I have, I'm really not happy with the quality on right now. So I wanted to get something a little bit higher end, so I'm going to try this kind of well-reviewed, somewhat inexpensive kind of shotgun mic. So I can actually get some nice A-roll. So really looking forward to putting that to use and testing that out for some upcoming videos.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Heck yeah.
That looks really good. Okay, just a couple of questions that we've had in chat. Vomindoran, yes, they are the WH1000 XM3 headphones. Yep, and they're really good. I recommend them. Nathan Kim as well with the 12 months in a row on Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, dude. Appreciate that.
He's back in purple, boys. Dixie Beck also just subbed with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, thanks, Dixie.
All right, so yeah, we'll have a lot of build streams coming up. So Jay has one going on Sunday. Then I will have my Norma Force Topra build stream on, I'm not sure what day, but it's going to be sometime next week. And then I'm also going to have a polycarbonate Singa build stream with, I think, lubed Helios coming up as well in the next week or so. And then I'm also going to be doing a TGR 910 with, I think, lubed Helios as well. So I'll have I have 3 build streams in queue. Jay has lots of build streams as well coming, so we're We're gonna have a lot of build streams in the coming weeks, guys. So if you're the kind of person that's into that,
counting up. I've got 17 builds upcoming that are planned.
17?
So. Yeah.
What are you?
Yeah, I don't know. They're just bits and pieces lying around at the minute. But yeah, 17 build streams. So it might take us a couple more months to get through that. But yeah, we'll get through them.
That's cool. We'll have lots of builds. People are still asking about the 24-hour stream. We should probably sit down and talk about that.
Yeah, we should.
We haven't really talked about it like at all, so we'll get to that. We'll get to that soon, guys.
We've agreed it's happening. It's definitely happening.
It's happening for sure. Yes.
Yeah.
100%. All right. So just got through the mail call. So let's move on to the news section, guys.
Excellent. Yeah.
Y'all ready for this? Alright, let me... Oh, I gotta change the viewer. Bam, there we go. Now we in the news. And we are gonna start out with the Fox No, wait. Is that right? No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong. That's later on. You're jumping down the list here, man.
That's not what I meant to open. I meant to open... crap, where is it? I think I got the link wrong.
I got the right link in chat, so you can take it from chat if you want.
Yeah, that's what I need. There we go. Wow, sorry about that, guys. Open too many tabs. All right, so
Talisman with the 1,111 bits. Thank you very much, dude. Cheers for the build.
Loves that number.
He does. It's a good number, though. To be fair,
it's a great number. It's a great number, and we definitely appreciate that. All right, so starting off, we have the group buy thread posted for the Aquaria V1 60%. This is done by Oscar2177. We covered this interest check a while back. This is kind of a nice jellyfish kind of aesthetic going on. He's got a nice curve on the bottom here with a big forehead if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, why don't you run down some specs of this nice looking keyboard while I show off some pictures.
Yeah, so it's a 7-degree angle, which is quite nice, probably in my preference range. But it's a weighty boy, 4 pounds and 4 ounces, so it's quite a heavy board, especially given the size of it. But looking at the size of the weight on the internals as well, it's quite... I'm not surprised it's quite hefty. I don't think the internal pic's on this page, but there is a picture that I've seen of the internals, and the kind of tabs that hold the weight in are quite chunky themselves as well. Price $320, not including PayPal fees, with $30 shipping to the US and $55 shipping international, which is pretty good, I think. Supported layouts is pretty much just ANSI with a couple of different variations on the bottom row, and then stepped on, non-stepped caps lock, and split on, non-split backspace. And that's kind of about it, really, for a compatibility perspective. And it's only available in 4 colours as well: red, blue, silver, and purple. Yep.
So, is this a no-go for you because no ISO?
I wouldn't say that. I'm probably not going to jump in on this. At first, when it first came out, I think it was only US. When Oscar got this up, it was just US purchases only. And I think he's changed that and opened that to international buyers since then. I think I'm not so keen on the forehead for me. The forehead is what puts me off. But the rest of the board looks lovely. And I do like the weight design. I do like the jellyfish. And one thing I am really, really fond of is the fact that he's going to release the plate files as well. He's not going to be hiding the plate files away in secret and squirreling them away.
Very cool. I wonder if the final... I know this was kind of designed in part with Teslatron. Excuse me. I don't know. So on screen right here, I'm actually showing off Teslatron's logo on the plate. I wonder if that's going to stay there for the final revision.
From what I understand, it is. I tested this the other week for a couple of the boards he's got that he's been helping designs on, and his logo stays on the plate file. Yeah, he really likes to make it known that he has a hand in this project. Very interesting. So yeah, looks not too bad. I kind of like it. It's pretty simple. I'm actually a really big fan of the large foreheads on keyboards. Love it on stuff like the Real Force, the Meme. Absolutely love it. And this board definitely seems like a winner for me. The price, I'm gonna say reasonable. It's not really too high, but it's not exactly a steal either. I think it's all right. I think it's not a bad price. It comes with plate and PCB and everything else. So I think that's all right. I don't think it's too high.
Yeah. One thing kind of interesting about it, it looks like there are 26 units total.
Yes, and they've all been made already. They've all been
made, exactly, yeah. So they're just waiting till after Chinese New Year to ship that out. early April is their estimate.
Yeah, what it seems like is he just needs buyers now to buy the boards, pick the colours, and then they can go to anodization and then ship out as soon as they're done. And just given the proximity to Chinese New Year, that's going to delay it by 8 weeks. So, but yeah, it looks good.
One thing that's kind of interesting, actually, just to play devil's advocate here, there's 26 total units. There's 22 spots currently available. Does it seem strange to you that he has only sold 4 spots in 2 days?
I'm wondering when that was last updated. I can't believe that's.
I'm almost positive.
Count. It has to be.
I'm almost positive this was updated like a day ago. I think.
Maybe.
I guess I could be wrong, but if you're going to put that in the title, like the exact number that you have left, you probably keep that updated pretty regularly.
You'd like to think so. I mean, it went live, 3 p.m. 2 days ago, so it's been open for 48 hours. I suspect he's sold more than that. We'll have to see if it's been updated. I might reach out to Oscar and ask him if he's going to update that. But yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, would be cool to find that information out. All right, moving on to our next topic, we have the group buy open for the ALF X Scott G60, which is this kind of very interesting, what they're calling retro dual mount, dual mode keyboard. So this is a pretty interesting one, guys. This is that board that we talked about a little while back that has 2 different mounting solutions that you can use one or both depending on what kind of feel you're going for. There is a top-mounted option. There's a tray-mounted option. Well, they both have both options, sorry. There's top-mounted or tray-mounted, or you could screw in all of them, as far as I'm aware. I think that's something I asked about a while back. And
super rigid.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting kind of design here, but I really, really, really enjoy this. This is absolutely a home run for me.
One of the interesting things I'd like to see on the internals is how it works with the optional 4mm thick plate. If you can have tray mount or top mount and 4mm thick plate, how that works. That'd be quite interesting to see.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. I was also, one of my questions about this would be, so it's center mount USB thanks to this daughter board that I'm showing off here. How would that work with a PCB that wasn't one of the included ones? Because it does say it supports most other GH60 style PCBs. Yeah,
if you look at that picture, Brian, you can actually see that it's got the USB port to the side of it. So I suspect what you'd have to do is just run a cable from that other USB port out of the back of the case rather than using the daughter board. I think that's how they make them compatible.
Okay. A little inconvenient, not quite as elegant as the actual daughter board that's mounted here, but maybe just a compromise for you there. Anyways, we have some specs on this. This is kind of it's a design that's been inspired by the Cherry G80-3000 series, as you can tell from the angles and curves. 6061 aluminum, pretty standard stuff there. Like I said earlier, it can be top mount or bottom tray mount, depending on your preference. But I assume most people are probably going to want to top mount this bad boy.
Yeah.
Yep, and the PCB that you can get with it is pretty interesting. So it is QMK based, and it is dual mode. You can use it either Bluetooth or USB, which is pretty rare to see these days.
Yeah, from what I understand, it has USB charging as well if you've got a battery in there. So it doesn't need a separate battery charger. The PCB will charge the battery as well if you've got a battery in the slot.
Yeah, which personally I think should be the way it works for all wireless or Bluetooth PCBs.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to put the components on the PCB. A lot of people struggle to get them on there. I know I've talked about it with Yankar before, and it's quite tricky to lay out your PCB in a way that supports it. But I wouldn't propose to know that I understand the technical details behind that.
Yeah, fair enough. This post claims it'll be compatible with USB-C and USB Mini, which is kind of interesting. And looks like your plate material options are going to be polycarbonate, carbon fiber, brass, and you'll have optional 4mm thick plates as well for aluminum and brass. So, pretty interesting. Designed by Scott, who is also running the group buy, and it is manufactured by ALF. And here are some color options for you guys.
Yeah, I think the colours look quite good. One of the other things on the internals as well is if you want to use a battery, you can do, but if you're not using the Bluetooth features, you can actually remove the battery and put an additional weight in the board as well, which I've not seen that done before. I've seen the battery cutouts, but never a weight to fill that if you don't want to use it.
Yeah, pretty smart. And it's only an extra $38 if you want the brass weight, on top of the starting price point of $298. So actually, fairly reasonable price here. $298 for your base kit gets you the case, a 1.5 millimeter anodized aluminum plate, and that dual mode PCB. You can forego that PCB and save $42, and then you can use one of your own if you already have one or something. Saves you a little bit of money there. And extra PCB is only $42. So actually, pretty reasonably priced PCB, if I do say so myself.
Especially considering the functionality it's got. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
I think that's really good. Interestingly as well, if you want to open up the group buy form just there, Brian, one of the other things I've noticed is that there's some colours are an extra cost. So some colours you have to pay an extra $36 for, which is kind of interesting. Some of them I can understand with the Everest White, that being, if you scroll down a little bit, the colours are there as well. There you go. Yeah, so the Everest White, I can understand that being a little bit more expensive. I'm not quite sure why the grey, green and pink would be.
I wonder if it's because... I don't know why it would be this way, but all the special options are dual tone, except for the pearl weight, obviously. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, some of the other ones are dual tone as well. The red and grey, blue, grey and purple and grey in the original colours, they're dual tone as well. So I'm not quite sure why they are different prices, but they are. Yeah,
that is kind of strange. Valentine's Day is one of the colors. Very nice.
It's a good name, though, isn't it? That's a good name.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for stuff like that. Like, if you name a color scheme, like, I'm all over it.
Absolutely, yeah. Like Max with the Anzi, I thought his color choices were great. Aubergine for that purple color he did.
Yep.
They were good. Yeah.
What color would you go with if you were to get one of these?
Either the pink or the camping green with the white bottom. One of those two. I think.
You'd fork out the extra $36 US to get the special colors?
Probably. That green is really nice, though. If it comes out in those renders, it does match camping really well. And with the white bottom, I think it looks really good. And one of the really, really good things about this is they can even do a 4mm plate in ISO, which would be the first, I think. I don't think there's any other keyboard that's done an optional ISO plate with a 4mm thick plate.
Well, I'm cheap and boring, so I'd go with the titanium gray base color. Because I like simplicity. All right. So, yes, leave. All right. So the group buy opened up about 8 days ago on the 2nd. It closes 31st of this month. So the end of this month, guys. Fulfillment's going to be about 4 to 5 months after a GB collection. That's because Chinese New Year, of course, is going to slow that down a little bit. And shipping via everyone's favorite SF Express. I say that sarcastically for those of you that didn't know. SF Express likes to screw me a lot. Anyways, yeah, make sure you hop in on this before the end of the month if this is something that you're interested in, guys.
Absolutely.
Next up, we have the interest check for the Hadron V3 72 key ortho linear with dual hot swaps, which is a term I don't think I've seen yet, so why don't you explain how this goes?
This is a really interesting board. Okay, so I've actually been talking to Ishtob about this earlier on today. I know him through Yankar and a few other people, and he might be watching as well. So Ishtob, if you're there, hello man, and thank you for spending time talking to me earlier on today. So this is a really interesting board. First off, it's an ARM processor, which there's very few boards that are at the moment. I think the HS60 is one of the first that's going to be ARM, and this one as well. So it does use an STM32 chip, which is interesting in itself. The multi-socket support. So what it actually supports here is through two different types of KL hot swap sockets. It actually supports MX switches and also the new MX low profile switches as well. So you can actually have both types of switch and alternate between them. Now you can't normally do that with the KL hot swaps because there isn't enough space to flip them around and have them both there. But with the low profile switches, you can actually get them both to fit on the PCB, which is really interesting. Just going through some of the other bits and pieces, it is an integrated plate in terms of how the actual board works. and it's got built-in speaker, it's got built-in little display, little OLED display, it's CNC milled. But one of the really, really cool things on this, and you can tell me in chat whether you like this or not, it actually has haptic feedback on it. So as you're typing, the board realizes when you've registered a key, and the board will vibrate a little bit like your mobile phone does when you type it on the keyboard, so that you know that you've got that feedback, that tactile feel, digitally through a motor to let you know that you've pressed the key on a mobile. This board does the same thing but on a keyboard. So it's built into the PCB, it's mounted to the PCB, and it will make the board vibrate whenever you actuate a key. So I don't know whether you guys are going to like that or not, Brian. I don't know what you think to that, but
this sounds really, really interesting. This sounds like a board that I think we need to try to get a prototype or something for Top Clack, just so we can try it out.
Now, it is ortholinear. I have asked him if he'd do a staggered version. He's not too opposed to the idea, so I think we just need to have a chat and see if we can force him to do that. Now, some of the other things as well, interestingly enough, is you can change the height of the keycaps themselves as well. So depending on if you want the keycaps from the low profile switches to be flush with the edge of the case, or if you want to use MX keycaps, which will sit higher because the switches are deeper, you can add or remove another interchangeable plate. So if you look back on our news document, Brian, I've included a secret link to a secret render, so you can actually see how that works.
Yep. Let me.
So it's got the. When Brian shows that, it shows you the main case, and then it shows you how you can add additional plates on top of the existing plate, which is integrated to make it thicker or thinner, and then raise or lower how the switch sits, so that you can have your keycaps flush with the edge of the case. So it makes the case high profile for both the low pro keys and also for a standard MX switch.
That is such an interesting way to accomplish that.
It is, isn't it? It's a very interesting board. Very interesting board.
Wow. Okay, so you can add or subtract plates to adjust your low or high profile threshold there. Very interesting. It looks like the board by default is flat, so you have no built-in angle.
Yes.
You could always take the poor man's approach and add specific length bump-ons to, kind of adjust to your liking. I don't see any kind of... this is an interest check, obviously, but I don't see any kind of price estimate yet.
Hold on, I did ask him about the pricing. Let me just recall from my conversation with him what he said. So he's realistically looking at a price point of around $255 without any fees attached. So on top of that, you'd probably have shipping and PayPal fees as well. And if you did want the additional plates, I think he thinks they'll be around $25 a piece.
Interesting. Okay, so definitely not a cheap or budget board per se, but you get a lot of very interesting features that we've never really seen before.
Yeah, I think the PCBs are going to be quite expensive to manufacture. I think the haptic feedback chip that he's using is quite expensive. So when you're talking about components for a PCB, they're usually a few cents each or $1 at the most. I think these are just around $5 for one component, which is kind of crazy for a PCB component.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of tries to justify the price a little bit.
Interesting. Do we have any kind of timeline on when this could be launching?
No date on it as yet. This is just the interest check to see how it goes, and then I think he's going to make all his decisions from there. But he does have physical prototypes on hand, so that tends to suggest he might be able to get on with it quite quickly if there is a support there for it.
All right, very interesting. This could be something to keep in mind, guys.
Yeah, what do you think, chat? Do you like the idea of haptic feedback on a keyboard?
Yeah, haptic feedback, the option for the low-profile switches or normal MX-style switches, built-in speakers, the OLED display, RGB underglow. This is a laundry list of features for a PCB.
Beadlock says how to make linears feel tactile. I like the ambition to push the envelope, says Talisman. Yeah, that's fair. It is very different. It's very interesting. And like Brian says, I want to try this out. Whether I buy one or not, I just want to try it, just to feel it and see how it feels. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Also, Osatepo subbed with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much for that, my friend. Yep, yep. Alright. Very interesting, guys. Let's keep an eye on that when it moves to the group buy phase. Up next, we have an interest check for the Uni 660. A wireless split by Sirius. And this is just about as short an interest check as you could possibly ever have in your life.
Details and polls forthcoming.
Yeah, so we have...
Where's the information?
We have almost no information on this. We can kind of surmise some things from the pictures, of course, but you know, we're still waiting on more information, details and polls forthcoming. So, group by Old Cat, designed by presumably Sirius, and here are the 2 pictures that they've included. And what can we tell from these images so far? So obviously it's a 66 key with a 5 column macro column there on the left side, and it's split.
A 5 key singular column, not a 5 column.
Yes, sorry. It made sense in my head, all right?
Okay.
When you're as stupid as I am. Anyways.
I kind of like that the underglow is kind of understated on this. That just thin, narrow band of underglow in the first render, that looks kind of nice. I'm interested and intrigued by the shape of the bump around the top. In the top corner, you can just see it to the left of the first image. It's kind of interesting. I'm not sure if I like that or not, but there's kind of a little bump there to help you pick it up.
This is interesting. This is interesting. So I've never really been a splitter. Like, I don't use split boards, I don't use ergo boards, I don't even use ortho boards, really. So, this is one of the things that would definitely get me in the door of those kind of more exotic layouts, is having more standard layouts be split. So I'm always a big fan of seeing boards that use relatively normal layouts. I use normal in air quotes here, obviously. But, you know, a more normal layout just split in half, like a normal 60% that's split, normal TKO that's split, sure, etc. So this is catching my attention.
Yeah, it's a 66 key with macro column, right? It's
pretty friendly as far as layouts go.
Yeah. Arrow keys are standard, no F-row, keep the height down. I'm assuming that brass block at the back is some sort of weight that's used on the board, but I'm not sure how that's integrated into it or anything like that. But
yeah, it could be there for that. It looks, judging by the pictures, I don't see any kind of angle on the keyboard, so this looks like another fully flat affair. Just judging by these pictures, at least, which I'm not a fan of. I think the only time I'd ever want a flat keyboard is if I'm using an ortho keyboard. I think as far as staggered goes, I don't like flat, personally.
Yeah, I think we just need more information on this one. We just definitely need more information. It's difficult to make a call on.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have added it to the dock until the IC was more feature rich, but this just went up yesterday, so I was like, maybe people want to see it.
Why not? Why not?
We'll have to wait for some more information on this one, guys. Anyways, moving on, we have a nice little... I guess you could call it a teaser, but it's more just like a preview from Originative, their Instagram. They're showing a set that has long been in the making. This is GMK Deep Space. And those of you who maybe have been around for, you know, a few years and are a little bit more veteran in the community might have remembered Booper designed a DSA set called Deep Space many years ago. It wound up being one of the most popular colorways for a very long time, and about 2-ish years ago, Andy, aka Living Speed Bump, was teasing that he was working with Booper and others to release a GMK version of that, and that's what this is, GMK Deep Space. We're finally seeing it hit the store, and in true Originative fashion, I don't think this is going to be a group buy. I think generally what Originative likes to do is just have stuff and then sell it.
Yeah.
So they kind of do the waiting for you. So that's what I'm expecting here, but that's what I'm assuming. Either way, it's launching soon.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. To be honest, I'm psyched for this. I've got the DSA set. I'm not a fan of DSA profile, but I have it because I like this colorway. I like this key set. I think the alphas are going to look better in GMK than they do in the DSA, purely because, well, I mean, if you look at the render, the alphas just look great. I am a little bit worried about the legend readability on the purple keys. I'm not sure if it's just the render or whether the blue is going to get a little bit washed out, but I'm hoping they can do justice.
Yeah, it does look a little worrisome. I'd like to expand this image, but you know,
Instagram, yeah.
But Instagram, yeah, I'm gonna try to scale it up just a little bit without making it too grainy. But this is what Jay's talking about. Obviously, here on this render, really tough to see the legends. This is a render, obviously, so not necessarily true to what the final version will look like. But the contrast does seem very off there on these keys. Which is a little worrisome.
Yeah, it could just be the render, and I'm sure they'll try to do some color matching and all of that kind of good stuff to make it fit. And the only other thing I'd like to see as well is to see if the artisans from the original DSA run will carry over to the GMK version as well, because I'm a big fan of those artisans, the astronaut heads and all of that kind of stuff. It's all really good.
Yep, absolutely. So we'll have to look out for more information on this. Because this is probably going to be a must-buy for me. Deep Space, very true to my heart. I like Booper. She's amazing. Great theme, great colorway. Definitely hope the GMK is able to do it justice and not ruin it with contrast inconsistencies.
Yeah, if it even only comes out half as nice as the DSA set, it's an insta-buy for me as this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love this set.
All right, next up we have a rather peculiar switch coming at you from Novelkeys. And this is an interesting kind of collaboration for a few reasons. One, this is Novelkeys X Gateron, which is interesting. This is kind of the first, what I'm going to say, project that we've seen Novelkeys approach to with Gateron instead of Kale. Kale is usually the go-to factory for Novelkeys, but here he's choosing Gateron as the option. And
yeah, I think it's technically the second, because Mike was the guy that got Gateron to sell the milky topped standard Gateron switches as well, which he's got in his store now, which have only been there a couple of weeks. So that was probably his in with Gateron. That was how we probably got them talking.
Yep. Fair enough. So if you guys can't tell from this picture, which you probably can, these are glow in the dark. And I love Novelkeys. I love lots of Gateron switches. I am struggling to see why this is a good idea, why this is really interesting. Is glow in the dark switches something that any of us saw coming, or any of us wanted? Any of us do we see the hole in the market that these fill?
I mean, I'm looking down at my keyboard and I'm trying to imagine what it would look like with that green glow coming out from underneath it, because it's not like the glow you get from an LED. It's not, a standard underglow type feature. I think it's just going to be quite different, and I guess if people like different, that's a good thing. One of my concerns with these switches is how do you charge them up? And I use charge in air quotes because the way these materials work, they need UV light to be able to store the phosphorants to make them glow when it's then dark. To my knowledge, and chat, correct me if I'm wrong, UV rays don't come from LEDs that we have as standard in keyboards, so the underglow and everything else that we have isn't going to charge them up unless we use UV specific in-switch LEDs or take our keycaps off to get some light in there. So I'm not quite sure how they'll work in practice as well. That's one of my kind of queries on how this is actually going to work in practice.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. Obviously, Novelkeys, love Mike, love Novelkeys. He's a sponsor of Top Clack, but that doesn't make him exempt from me or Jay or anyone else picking on products and ideas. I think it's very interesting, but I just don't really see this being that worth it in practice.
Yeah, I'm not sure how noticeable the glow will be unless you're taking your keycaps off and charging that phosphorance up.
Yeah, exactly. And you only have the one color of glow effectively too, which is not necessarily going to match a lot of things with this color.
Spooky green.
Yeah, which is I don't know. I'm really interested to see how these are gonna sell. Like, I feel like everyone is either gonna absolutely love these and have to have them, or this product is gonna flop. And like probably nowhere in between. And I'm really curious to see how this is gonna work. A couple technical specs that we do know that I'm assuming Mike is gonna be okay with us sharing here. But you know, if not, he'll slap me in the face later. But he did privately say that these are effectively going to feel like Gateron yellows.
Yeah.
So presumably they'll be using the same spring, which is really cool because Gateron yellows definitely one of the most popular budget switches on the market, partly due to that spring. It's really interesting. A lot of people really enjoy it. So I think that was the correct choice here as far as the stock spring lineup goes. He's using black bottoms and milky tops, which is a very popular combination for acoustics if you're into the sound of switches in your keyboards. This is one of the more favorite kind of combinations as far as Gateron switches go, so definitely smart on that. The only way
we need to try and get some samples as well of these, because I'm interested to see how they feel, because usually when you add phosphorants to materials it does tend to change the chemical composition, so I'm interested to see how that goes as well, whether actually that makes them grittier or smoother, or what that does as well, or if anything it might be nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really interesting thinking. Man, I don't know. I have like, I feel like I have so many and also so little thoughts on this Switch. But like, yeah, I'm just waiting. Presumably, I don't know if the prices are public yet, and I'm not entirely sure, but I think they're going to be somewhere around the 55-cent per Switch mark as far as pre-order pricing goes, and it might crank up to something like 65 cents after the pre-order pricing. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully these feel great, sound great, and maybe people like me can be absolutely fooled, and the glow-in-the-dark feature is going to be an absolute one-hit wonder and be amazing.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. People might want to do a themed Halloween board for next year, and these might be right up their street, especially now we have so many hotspot boards that you know, might be something that someone would want. And the Pokemon Kid as well, he's saying that they'd go nicely with the SA glow-in-the-dark caps that Signature Plastics are producing as well, that I think you covered on the show a couple of months ago. So I'm not sure if that'd be too much glow-in-the-dark for me. But yeah, maybe.
Yeah. We'll never know. Well, actually, we probably will know. We'll ask for samples, we'll hopefully get some, and then we'll know. Alright, moving on. We have the last topic on our news doc. This is the Plane 60C.
Yes.
So tell us about this, Jay.
Okay, so this is a board that's in a prototyping round now. So normally we don't cover stuff on the show until it's in interest check. Now, what this board was a prototype run that Martin, who owns the site, designed. He wanted a really, really simple 60% board, no fancy underglow, no fancy LEDs, as few layouts as possible while keeping most people happy. As is from Europe, it has included ISO, so I'm happy with that as well. I think just for now it was 15 boards just to test run to see how that goes. Once that's been done, he'll run a public IC, and then we might see a group buy going forwards as well. But it's just a really simple, as the name says, really plain board with a minimal layout support. So it's no Swiss cheesing of this PCB. It's just a really basic PCB.
Yeah, very minimal layout support, which is pretty cool. It covers your most basic stuff, the stuff that the majority of us use, which is nice. You do get QMK here and USB Type-C, so two pretty big wins in my opinion.
Yep.
He's cutting down a lot here to presumably save money. It'd be really cool to get at least an estimate on the price.
So I'm in this prototyping round, and I think it was something like €20, which is not a lot of money. So it's somewhere in the region of $20 to $25 for just the prototype round. So if Martin does turn this into a full-fledged group buy, the price may be the same or slightly lower, depending on how he wants to run that. But I think it's for a budget PCB, for travel boards, or for those that don't want any flashy lights or anything like that. I think this is really nice and simple.
Yeah, and this is actually something I really feel like the community needs, is just like a really, really, really bare bones, cheap QMK Type C PCB that you can buy like 2, 3, 4, 5 of and not feel guilty about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, just to put in like pretty much any 60% situation that you want. Really, really need something like that, because we have so many like really cool PCBs on the market now, but most of them are $50, $60, $80. Like,
yeah,
we need something that really competes hard in the budget category here, and this is looking pretty nice.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I think it's a great idea, and as you say, it's really tying into that budget end of the market for things like travel boards and, you know, simple boards that people don't need any frills or bells on. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, like this would be one of those things where I would just I would put in a bulk order and buy like 10 of these, or 15 or 20, or, you know, like enough to last me through a lot of boards, because I use a lot of 60%, so I need a lot of 60% PCBs.
Yeah, and this kind of price, it almost makes them disposable as well. You don't need to bother desoldering them because they're so cheap that $20 isn't worthwhile desoldering a board over. You know, you'd rather just pay the money and have another one. And,
whoa! Let's not go that far, man. I am the king of value here. I don't throw away a $20 PCB. I don't know.
I'm not suggesting you throw it away, but you just do another build rather than bothering to desolder. Or I would anyway. I'd just build another one.
Well, you are statistically way cooler than I am. I have to go in the dumpster in the back and dig out PCBs that people like you throw away so I can use them in my boards. Anyways, what do you guys think, chat? What is this going to be a winner for you guys? Are there any other like competitors in this kind of category on the market in the budget range right now? Is this something that you guys want to see more of? Because this is something I want to see more of. No frills, absolutely. Good bare bones PCB that comes with everything that you need at a price that makes all of us happy.
For sure, yeah. Talisman's is saying, you know, true introductory offering. I think that's a great way of putting this. Martin's done a couple of other bits and pieces for boards, controller boards and stuff like that. But this is a great full first product, so I agree with that. Beadlock says someone needs to get this ported to VIA for a great introduction to the hobby. So I know Martin has had a chat with Olivia about using VIA, and they've had some good conversations with that. So I don't know if this board will ever actually make it onto VIA or not, but I know that Martin is looking at it. He's interested in the solution.
Yep. And as far as I'm aware, I mean, I'm no coder. I'm not a professional. I'm not a QMK expert. But as far as I'm aware, any QMK PCB can be ported to VIA. As far as I'm aware.
Yes, if you put the work in, it can be done, yes.
Alright, let's see what people are saying about this. This is cool. Love it. This is perfect. A+ from me. I'd buy 20. A+, yeah. A+. It'll be my first 60%. Okay, so obviously people are loving this. This even on Top Clack, this is a good enough sample size to see that this is definitely a necessity in the community.
Absolutely, and just to cover Martin's credentials as well. So he's done the PCB for the ANSI. He also did the Cyclops PCBs with Max, the ones that I showed off earlier on. Those three PCBs that I got. Martin did all the soldering and some of the routing design on those as well. And he's also doing the PCB for my board, the J01. So I think he's got a good future ahead of him. He's got the credentials already under his belt. At 18 years old, he's doing wondrous things. So fair play to him.
Yeah, just goes to show you don't need to be super old to do cool things in the community.
Absolutely not. Yeah, he's putting me to shame because I wouldn't have a clue where to start on how to design a PCB.
Yeah, I'm probably even farther off from you. So, but that's why we're here talking about cool products, and these guys are the people that are making cool products.
Absolutely. So Martin, well done, man. This looks really good. I'm really impressed by this.
Yeah, would love to see this gain some major popularity, and maybe see a huge group buy or an in stock where we can pick these up for a good price.
Absolutely.
Speaking of good prices, why don't you tell us about our first sponsor, Jay?
Yeah, so this week our first sponsor is Novelkeys. So a few things going on with Mike on his store. He's now got the Godspeed Glow desk mats up for sale as well. $25 for a desk mat that's got RGB all around the edges. I've already bought one. I think they look fantastic. Really good, innovative idea. He's also got Galactic Empire, which is this the last day, did we say, or the last week, or is this
it's the last day? Yeah, ends January 10th. Today. So today's the last day. Yeah, it's the 11th for me now, so that's why I'm getting confused. 3 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, guys, if you want to jump on this one, it is the last day. DSA Galactic Empire now on sale in more locations than just the continental US. So feel free to pick that up. And then finally, please don't buy them all out, but he does have some extras of GMK Space Cadet on the site. I'm hoping I can grab one in the morning when I wake up. So please don't buy them all while I'm asleep. But yeah, good things from Mike. Yeah, we don't know exactly how many of the GMK Space Cadet he has, but I imagine it's very limited. Usually when he says very limited, it's very limited. So yeah, these definitely probably going to be selling out very soon. Alright, Crown Sigil, thank you very much for that sub via Twitch Prime. And also, while you're at Novelkeys, you can use promo code NEWCLACK. That is the promo code this month to get you 5% off your total order. NEWCLACK, 2 words.
Yep, and it'll be that for the next 3 weeks, and we'll let you know when that changes as well, when that order code changes.
Heck yeah. Next up, we have Kono.store, where you can find lots of products from Input Club, including the ErgoDox Infinity, which is still going on right now. Of course, if this is your preferred outlet to buy, you can get DSA Galactic Empire here as well. Last day for that. Calm Depths, GMK Calm Depths, is still going on. That's going to end on the 15th. This is still one of the cheapest sets of GMK you can buy anytime.
And for that base kit as well, that base kit is absolutely huge for the price.
Yeah.
You know, it even has UK ISO support, which for me at that price point is unbelievable. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and as far as I'm aware, they have hit the MOQ, so this should definitely be running.
Yep,
which is pretty nice to see. Nice $125 rich base kit there. Love that. GMK Shoko also still available until the 15th. We don't know if that has hit MOQ yet. I don't think it has. So make sure you support GMK Shoko if you're into that sort of thing. That's another really nice rich base kit for a relatively low price of $138. So make sure you still get on that if that's your thing. And of course, they still have the pre-order open for the Gemini Dusk and Gemini Dawn, which is kind of that $140 K-type killer, as I've been calling it. You got full programmability, full RGB, hot swap TKL with underglow, PBT keycaps, dual USB Type-C, all for $140. Pretty nice stuff going on there. All right, what else we got, Jay?
Next up, we have got Z Frontier, and as always, they've got a number of different offers on site. At the minute, they're still selling the Aurora 96, so it's a really good-looking 96 key kit. So if that's your bag, take a look at that because it's a really nice-looking board. As well as that, they've also got Shoko up on the store as well. So if you don't want to jump on one of the other vendors, Z Frontier has that as well. And then finally, they've got the JTK triple shots, which are really, really interesting caps, especially if you use an ANSI layout. I've actually got a set of these coming, so when they come, I'll likely give them away on stream, maybe, we'll see, as I don't have a board that they'll fit on, but they do look really, really interesting. Those triple shot caps are, I think, the only ones on the market at the moment. No one else is doing triple shots, so yeah, it's really interesting to see those. And they're a pretty good price for the set as well.
I agree. I'm definitely going to be grabbing a set of these as well. We're looking forward to seeing how good the quality is, since this is their first attempt at triple shot, as far as I'm aware.
Yes, yeah, I think they did a test round of pink keycaps, and then these come in the black, white, and red with a few different variations thereof. So I think the set I've got coming is the black with the white and the red legends. So I'll be interested to take a look at those and the quality of them when they arrive.
Heck yeah. All right, last but not least, we have ZealPC.net, aka Zeal Generation, where he has all the new Zeal V2 lineup going on still. The V2 Zelios, V2 Xylence, the V2 Telios, and the new Helios, which are the silent linear, which I've been using a lot lately. I've been absolutely loving them. Been loving the entire new V2 lineup. I think he's done a really, really, really bang-up job on this V2 series. I like it a lot more than the V1 series. And he still has the group buy open for the Zeno. That's going to be open till the middle of next month, so you have a little bit more than a month to hop in on the Zeno still, which is that nice 75% that you can get even in the half-plate format, which is really nice, as well as some nice rose gold PVD. Of course, he has the Revision 4 G60, that nice black and gold aesthetic there still that you can pick up. And if you do want to shop at zealpc.net and support Top Clack at the same time, you can use our affiliate link, which is zealpc.net/topclack. Gives us a bit of a kickback and helps us out a lot. Of course, it doesn't cost you anything more, but if you want to support us, that's a really, really, really great way to do it, and you still get amazing stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just while we've been running through that as well, just call out to Talisman for a second 1111-bit cheer that we missed, as well as to Tonkatonk and Tonk726, if I can speak properly, who subscribed for 9 months in a row. Thank you very much, man. Really appreciate that.
Heck yeah. Thank you guys very much. All right, I'm going to kick us back to the other layout real quick, and we do not have a guest today, but that's okay, because turns out Jay and myself are pretty cool. You know, just on our own. Like, we don't need other people to build us up all the time, you know? Either way, we are going to be rolling into the Q&A segment of our stream, as we always do towards the end. So if you guys have questions, we got answers for you. So make sure you use that @TopClack tag so we can see the questions a little bit easier with our eyes.
Yep, and the Pudsey just calling out that I say Z and not Z. Yes, that's the right way to say it. Thank you very much for that, Pudsey. And Gio with the 5 tier 1 sub gifts. Thank you very much, Gio. That's 40 you've given away on the channel, so thank you very much, dude. Really appreciate 40.
That. Holy crap. Awesome, Gio. You are the man. All right, guys, Q&A time. @TopClack with your questions. Let's see what you guys want to talk about today.
Yeah. Ooh, Beadlock saying there's only 3 base sets left of I assume that's the GMK Space Cadet. Is that what?
Probably, yeah. That would make sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ishchub saying the same thing. Also, Ishchub, the designer of the Hadron V3. Yeah. Hey man, good to see you.
Very nice. Yeah, I know when he had the GMK Olivia extras, there were only like 5 or something like that. Yeah. So I imagine these would be limited too.
I'm gonna start typing a message up to him now.
All right, Beadlock's kicking us off with the first question. Says, Sorbathane, effective yes or no? Fight Mortal Kombat style. I don't think Jay and I need to fight on this. I think Sorbathane is pretty tried and true at this point. It's incredibly effective, if not a little expensive.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think there's other materials as well. I think the only thing I would say on it is the hobby does rely too much on the Sorbathane. There are other options out there, other materials that may be better or worse depending on the use case as well. So, yeah. Feel free to experiment.
Definitely. I think Sorbathane is definitely very effective. I wouldn't use it in like a ton of my boards just because for me it's kind of expensive. Like, you know, to outfit most boards, it's going to cost you, you know, around $20 or more for the Sorbathane, and it, depending on like the thicknesses you're able to find, it might not even work in some of your boards if there's not enough clearance. That's kind of the main thing I've been disliking about Sorbathane lately. I've been trying to use it and not always succeeding. Whereas something much cheaper like Shelfliner or, you know, Silverstone silencing foam, which is by volume worlds cheaper, and it's thinner. Of course you can stack it and try to get multiple layers depending on the thickness that you want. It's usually a little bit easier to work with, but maybe not quite as effective all the time.
Yeah, I find that Dynamat's really good as well. If you've got a really empty case like the CA66, Dynamat works better than Sorbathane in something like that as well, because it's anti-vibration. It's made for car movement as well. So it depends on what you're trying to fix with Sorbathane. I don't think it's necessarily the wrong answer, but sometimes there might always be a better product depending on what you're trying to fix, what issue you're trying to address with it.
Yeah, certainly. FamGuy07 saying, did you see this new desk pad? And he links what I think is the Novelkeys Godspeed Glow desk pads, which, yeah, we did.
Yes.
We did touch on those during our sponsor spot. Yes, they have those in stock now. They look nice. They're pretty reasonably priced as well.
Yep, I've already bought a blue one. Yeah, looks good.
Very nice. All right, Bug Whisper asking, what's your... Oh, wait, hold on. Why did that just blink out? What's your opinion on progressive springs? I actually have some thoughts on them. I'm actually using them in the board right now that I'm using. So I've got the 58-gram progressive variety. And I will tell you right now, I don't think I'd be able to tell the difference in a blind test between normal 58-gram Sprit and 58-gram Sprit progressive. So...
I think that's quite fair. I've been talking with Sprit on and off about progressive springs because I've had some for a couple of months now, and my view on them is that they need to be extreme in their application. So instead of 55 grams being your actuation point and then topping out about 70 grams on the final bottom out, which is I think what the numbers are broadly speaking, it should be something like 60 grams actuation and 125 grams bottom out. It should be really, really extreme in terms of almost so that you can't press the full switch to stop your bottoming out. That's how progressive switches should be for me, and I don't think Sprit's quite got it there yet, but he is trying to tweak them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, when we start talking, obviously a lot of it's biology. Some of us are going to be more sensitive in our fingers than other people, but I've always kind of felt I was pretty sensitive when it comes to keyboard switches and being able to tell the differences between stuff like that. And I don't think I could tell the difference in a blind test of two of the same weights, progressive versus normal. So, you know, in normal typing, no. I straight up just don't notice the difference. They feel nice. They still feel like a good spring. Like, I still enjoy using them.
Sure.
But if I had a gun to my head, I wouldn't be able to say they were, you know, more or less progressive than any other 58-gram spring. But, yeah, hopefully, like Jay said, we can check out some of the more newer versions once he kind of gets that actuation to full compression force gap a little bit wider.
Absolutely, yep.
Dead Baby, wow, what a username, says, what do you think about the findings on Reddit showing the new V2 silencing dampeners don't actually bottom out properly in the Zeal housings? I haven't seen that yet.
I've seen it. I haven't had a chance to digest exactly what was going on in the article, so I don't have any thoughts on it just yet. But I'll have to take a look and check it out properly. Might be one for us to touch on next week if we add it to the show doc. If we
absolutely
chat about it next week.
Yeah, I haven't seen this yet, so yeah. But judging by what you say, the V2 silencing dampeners not actually bottom out properly on the Zeal housings. I don't know. I don't know what you would consider bottoming out properly. I mean, it bottoms out on the dampening material, I imagine. But yeah, that'll be something to definitely look at. We'll see what happens there. I've been very happily using my Helios and my V2 Silence, and I don't think I've noticed any of them not bottoming out.
Yeah, I mean, I've just got the Helios in, so it might be something I try and have a look at for the stream on Sunday where I do build with them. I'll take a look after the stream today and see if I can replicate the issue, and yeah, we'll go from there. We'll have a chat about it next stream.
Sounds good. All right, Yakbats asks, can you bag lube springs with 3203, or is that still too thick? I've never tried, but I probably wouldn't do it just because it is, you know, it's not. It kind of applies like an oil when you're lubing a switch. The 3203, it has an amazing consistency. I actually really, really enjoy it. But I don't think I'd bag lube with it. Yeah, you need something runnier. You need something that, you know, moves.
Agreed.
Something that moves, and 3203 doesn't move.
Yeah, if you're going to use 104 or 106 or something like that, absolutely that would work fine if you wanted to bag lube. Although I advise against bag lube. I don't like bag lubing personally, but that's just me. But yeah, for something like 3203, I would definitely just hand lube with a nice brush.
Yep. All right. Blue Note asking, where is a good place to get Sorbathane? Amazon is the easy answer. I know you can usually find them for $18 to like $22, and you get a piece that's enough for a 60%.
Yeah, same in the EU as well. Amazon or eBay, yeah, both best places to buy it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're in the US, you might be able to hassle Man of Interest enough to do another run of Sorbethane.
Yeah.
He's done a group buy for Sorbethane not too long ago, and he was able to get the price down to about $16 US, which for me was the cheapest I've seen it so far. Teha Types, which is Nathan Sir Nathan Kim. I'm gonna knight him.
Sir Nathan Kim, knight him. Whoa, that's a British thing. That's a British thing.
You know, well, you're British. You're on Top Clack now. I feel like I'm kind of like an honorary Brit at this point.
When you build an ISO board, that's when you're the honorary Brit.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. I'll get to that soon. But I'm in my mind, I'm gonna knight Sir Nathan Kim here. Asks, what do you think the fad of 2019 will be? We've talked about this before, not the first time we've been asked this. I think gasket mount is going to be huge in 2019. It's already been pretty big the last trimester of 2018 even. Lots of interest checks and group buys starting with the gasket systems. And I think that will certainly carry into 2019.
I think you're probably right. I think that's probably the big thing in the hobby right now. It's certainly the biggest, interest around new boards. You've got things like the Staccato coming out, the Unicorn, all gasket mounts. I think where it's really interesting for me is there's different types and different implementations of how you can use gasket in a board, from everything from a really simple method, how the number 1 does it, to how the gasket does it, to how, or the GSKT, does it, to how, the Unicorn does it as well. So what I'm really interested to see is not just how many gasket boards we get, but how people come up with new ways of implementing gaskets into boards. I think that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, certainly, because we've already seen almost every gasket mount style board that has been an interest check or group buy in the last 6 months has been different from the last.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very, very interesting to see so many people's takes on it, and for better or worse, it's certainly interesting.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we're going to have to move away from as a community is calling all of these different types under the same gasket mount banner, because it's going to start to become a bit misleading when there's different types of gaskets for different types of solutions and problems. So yeah, I think we do need to start thinking about that as a community, how we come up with new naming conventions for different types of gaskets.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the community handles that nomenclature once we get to that point. It's so absolutely easy just to say it's gasket mount. It's so easy to say that.
What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything unless it's going to be different for every board.
No, I'm certainly not arguing against it. I'm just saying it's so easy just to say it's gasket mount when there's a gasket there.
Yeah, and then you have people throwing money at the screen because it's got a gasket written on it. It's like, well, how's it implemented? What does it do for the board? Tell me about it.
Yeah.
So I know Dixie and I have been talking about this quite recently, and we've both got boards in design at the moment. So I've got the JO1, which is what I'm calling an adjustable isolation mount, after having some serious conversations on the Top Clack Discord about this over the past couple of weeks. But that's effectively where the plate's sandwiched between gaskets, rather than having a gasket underneath and then being pressed down by the top case. It's kind of isolated from touching any other metal in the case by the gasket. So I think there's different types of implementation like that. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Certainly. What else in 2019? Do we have any other fads in mind?
Yeah, cat profile. I think that's going to be massive in 2019.
Good call. I hope you're right.
As soon as we see that white and black set coming out, and people start to show it up and start posting it on pictures of it on Reddit and all that kind of stuff, the set's going to go wild. There's I think was that ZX Spectrum set cat as well, I think, and we did an interest check last week for another set. So I think that's going to go wild this year.
Yeah. Have you got to try one yet?
I've got a single key, and that's all I've got. And I don't even know how I came about that. It just arrived one day in the post, so I don't even know who sent it to me.
Oh man!
But yeah, I've got a single blank key that's kept on.
I should send you a set. I'm curious to see your thoughts. I'm gonna send you a set, and
okay.
you're gonna tell me how much you like it, because I really like it.
Cool. Sounds good.
I might be going out on a limb here, but I wonder if differently sized plates will be like a thing in 2019. And I mean, like, obviously we've seen 5mm a lot. You know, in 2018,
sure.
that was kind of like a slightly big thing. A few boards had it. You know, obviously we have 1.5mm has kind of been the standard, but I'd be curious to see people play around more with different thicknesses of plate. So maybe like, you know, 2mm, 2.5mm, 3.5, 4,
okay,
stuff like that. I'd be interested in seeing, you know, how you can alter a board's feel and sound just in, you know, increments based on the plate method. So that's kind of like in the or, you know, like in the group buy that we talked about earlier, the Hadron, where you can you can just put more plates on it. It'd be kind of interesting to see that method actually in like you know, like I don't want to use this because it sounds negative, but like a more premium like 60% or 65% or, you know,
sure,
like
sure.
where
So,
you have multiple plates you can mount to tailor the experience to yourself.
So I think there's two sides to this as well. So I do know of two. I don't know if they're secret as such, but two hidden, I'll call them hidden boards that are being made at the moment. They've got multi-material plates, which is quite new. I probably can't say too many details about them until they come up for IC, but they're effectively, you have your standard plate, which is one material, and then between the plate and the PCB, you have another material that kind of fills that gap. I think I'm probably saying too much already, but one of them uses an aluminium plate on top and then a balsa middle tier, and then I've seen it also done with different types of foam in the past. I know Walker does it with sorbothane and things, but an actual laser cut plate in the middle as well. So there's a couple of people trying different things with that, which will really affect sound profile. It'll really affect flex and feel and how that is. It makes some things will make it more rigid, some things will make it less rigid. So just have to see how that goes. And then the other thing I think as well is plastic plates. So I know we've seen POM plates, and I know we've seen Delrin plates and a few other examples. But I have seen some plates today that are made of polypropylene and a few other things that Chris Swires has been working on as well. So new materials for plates I think as well might be quite interesting in 2019.
Yeah, definitely. The Sweaty Yeti donates, I'm not even going to count that, but it's a lot of bits. I think he donates somewhere in the ballpark of 300 bits, so I appreciate that very much, my friend. Thank you.
Pokemon Kids saying, any thoughts on cat profile? Yeah, we've just talked about it.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I can't wait to see more cat profile sets hit the market. That's how I feel about it.
Subnet saying, I'm waiting for exponential switches. Linears are not 2019.
Yeah. Yeah, alright. Fundle LOL asking, next board group buy you're looking to get into. I was actually just telling Jay before the stream, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place right now, because I think I can only afford one of the two that I want to get in. And I'm pretty sure I want to join the G60 group buy, which we talked about earlier today. That just opened up recently. The G60, I'm really liking the price point on that and the design. And I'm really curious about the dual mode PCB and the dual mount plate system. So really looking into that. So that might be a board that I get. Or the Leaf 60, which we talked about, I think, either last week or the week before when it went up in interest check. I effing love that design. I think it looks spectacular. The price point is looking pretty darn great, and I like that it's offered in normal HHKB win keyless, polycarbonate, black polycarbonate, aluminum, and brass. I love the options that you can get with this board, and I love the design, and I'm loving the expected price point. So it's going to be kind of a coin flip. I think the G60 is a more interesting board, but I think I like the Leaf just a little bit more. But one of those two is going to be my next group buy board.
So you need to make the decision now. Are you going to buy the board for you, or are you going to buy the board for the community in terms of something that's really interesting that we can?
Are you trying to trick me? You're trying to trick me, aren't you?
Maybe. In terms of my buys, I've literally just joined the Space 65 group buy. I'm going to try and get in on the number 165 brass edition, and then the other thing I'm hoping for this year is a TMO, the TMO 50. I'm hoping around 2 if that happens, because I'm desperate for one of those boards.
Oh, actually, I might have some information for you on that board. I actually just bought an extra of one of those as well, so I'm looking forward to getting that as well.
Yeah. I'm hoping that if I can't get an extra, I know that Chris Wise got into the group buy, but he didn't actually expect to or really look forward to the board. So I'm hoping we might be able to come to some sort of arrangement there. If I can't get an extra, but we'll see. But I definitely want one as a travel.
Some sort of arrangement where you steal it in the middle of the night.
I'll just drive over and knock down his door and
don't say a word. Just walk in, take the kit, and walk out.
I'll just leave him some random 60% on the table to replace that, because that's fair, isn't it? Right? That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, 60% higher than 50% or whatever. So.
More keys is better, right?
Yeah, totally. Oh golly! All right. Nathan says, "Whoa, I'm a knight now." Wow, am I that far back in chat? Sorry, guys. We spent a lot of time on the fad question. Benjine99 asks, bag lube the springs, or sorry, he doesn't ask, he says, bag lube the springs using Victorinox multi-tool oil, which is like a knife oil. Victorinox is a knife brand. Yeah, people have been using Victorinox knife oil on springs for as long as I've been in the hobby, so definitely.
I've never tried it, actually.
I haven't either, but I know it's popular. I mean, it's a thin oil it's used for metals, so in theory it works quite well.
Gio as well saying he's very disappointed in me because I know it's isolation mount. I called it isolation mount. You didn't give me chance to go through the conversation we're having and build up to that whole different type of gaskets and all of that. So you jumped the gun.
I very accurately recall you saying adjustable isolation mount.
Absolutely. Yep. So there we go.
That's what you said. So Gio's getting old. Maybe his hearing not so good anymore.
yeah, maybe.
Talisman Solutions gifts a tier 1 sub to Dead Baby. What a username, man! Thank you for the gifted sub, Talisman.
What was the one we had last week about something about milk? Thick milk, wasn't it?
That's milk. Great
Thick milk.
Yeah. Well, see, we can. Thick milk is a great username. It's hard to say Dead Baby is a great username. Because I think we're just
talking
like
about it.
We're really evil if we say that. That's why I said it's a very interesting username. Anyways, back to the question. Sorry, guys. Polyzoo asking, do you think there's value for more customs in 2019 that target the $100 to $200 price point? KBD fans has been doing great work, but it seems like the price of customs just keeps getting higher. That's a really great question, and I think the reason a lot of prices keep getting higher is just because we keep trying to cram more and more features and more intricate designs into keyboards as a whole, that when you try to support everything that's all the hot new rage, it winds up costing a lot more money because, you know, we've gotten so far away from basic functionality that we just have all these features that frankly a lot of us don't even use or care about, and it's just kind of driving our price points up. But yeah, $100 to $200 customs, like, even with just basic functionality, it'd be huge for the market. There's a severe lack of like sub $300 like nice boards in the community.
I think one of the other reasons why the customs price keeps getting higher as well is because of the logistics around running a group buy. You know, the group buys are getting bigger on average. You know, there's more people entering the group buys. There's more attention paid to things like boxes and the experience of getting the board. We have higher quality now. If you look at some of the original boards that still command really high prices, like the OTDs and things like that, and you compare them with the quality of the boards we have today in terms of machining and anodization and all of that, everything is getting better. But just just the physical, the sheer number of people that are involved within a group buy now is probably twice what it was 2 years ago, and probably 4 times what it was 4 years ago. It's a massive economy now, and the community is growing so big and so quickly that to literally run these group buys, we're having to turn to vendors. If you look at the sheer number of vendors we've got that run group buys now, compared to where we were a few years ago, the hobby's just grown exponentially. And as that grows, the short-term effect is that you do have a spike, almost like a bell curve in terms of cost increases whilst the community is in that growth period. So I think that's just from an economical point of view, that's why that's happening as well. But yeah, I'd absolutely be down to see a lot more prices in the $100 to $200 range. And you're right, KBD fans have been knocking it out of the park this year. The change in quality from 18 months ago to now on KBD fans weighs really leading the pack right now.
Yeah.
I've said this to Zondat face to face, and I've shown him the anodization now on something like the KBD 67 is better than it is on the Nox 3268. And it is just crazy how much the quality's changed in 18 months.
Yeah, well, KBD fans has some like black magic going on behind the scenes to be able to get the prices that they do on a lot of this stuff, compared to other things that we see that aren't from them in the community. So yeah, they have some serious ties with manufacturers or something to be able to pull off a lot of the stuff that they do. But we benefit from that, so I'm not going to complain. Talisman Solutions gifts another Tier 1 sub to The Ice Is Nice 33. So thank you very much for that gifted sub as well.
Gio's mentioning in 2019, hopefully the Novel Pro as well, Novel Pro profile.
Yep. Not only Novel Pro, but Mike of Novelkeys is also looking to launch that sub $200 65% kit that he's been working on for a while. That's supposed to be, now that we're talking about nice budget customs, that probably fills that role as well.
Yeah, I've seen the PCB as well. Yankav shared with me some pictures of the PCB as well a couple of weeks ago. So it is progressing. It's that project as well. So it'd be good to see that too.
Yep. Benjai99 asking, all he says is GMK Olive.
And all I'm going to say is yes.
Is that interest check up yet?
I'm not sure. Olivia's teased it, I think. I don't know if it's been a full interest check, but it's been teased. It is happening. Just a case of when. And hopefully soon.
When the official interest check goes up, we'll definitely talk about it on the show, of course. That'll certainly be a news topic. But from the teasers I've seen so far, yeah, looks good.
Absolutely.
Teha Types asking, guess on how many subs RMK will have at the end of this year, at the end of 2019. I don't even know how many it's on now. I don't know how many it has now either. Let's find out.
Let me have a look.
I think it's like 300K or so. 300, just shy of 333,000. So
500,000 then.
Half a million,
I guess. Yeah, 333,000 to 500,000. I think it'll be 500,000 by the end of the year.
How many did we have 1 year ago? Have we gained over 100K in 1 year?
I reckon we must have done.
Yeah, 500. Yeah. I'm gonna say 460,000. That's gonna be my guess.
It'd be nice to hit that milestone of because that's probably the broadest number we've got in terms of how big the community is. It would be nice to see that as 500,000 subscribers.
That's true. It's hard because then you remember that like 80% of those people like aren't really enthusiasts. They're kind of just people that like have checked the box on subscribing to the subreddit and either haven't looked at it in eternity or look at it maybe once a year and don't even have a Mac or something. It's I've actually been interviewed a couple times, and like one of the questions that people always ask is how big is the community really? Like how many actual keyboard enthusiasts do we have? And I'm always like, I have no idea. I'd like to ballpark like 10,000, like, or less probably. Like people like us.
I don't know. I feel that I think that 10,000's on the low side. If you think about all the people that go to meetups and chat in all of the discords and things like that, I think that's probably on the low side. I don't think it's anywhere near as high as the 332,000 in terms of how many people are actively engaged within the community and, you know, buying, selling, building, sorting, collecting, whatever with boards. But if you look at, you know, just different aspects, you've got the customs crowd, you've got you've got the budget crowd, you've got the artisan crowd, and all of that kind of stuff. I think 10,000 would be doing it a disservice. I'd estimate we're probably closer to 30 in terms of the rock solid heart of the community.
It's very possible. I think a better indication of people in the hobby would probably be not RMK users, but users of keyboard forums that are like just dedicated to keyboards. So things like Keycap, Keycap Talk, because like to make an account there, you actually have to be like a keyboard enthusiast. Whereas that's you know, RMK is just a piece of Reddit. And, you know, a lot of people already read it, and, you know, to join RMK, you just click subscribe. Like, you don't have to sign up for an account or, you know, anything like that, because you probably are already browsing Reddit on your account anyways. So, you know, it's obviously a very, very different number, RMK versus, you know, other outlets. All right. He also asks, will Jay come to a U.S. meetup? Yes. I'm going to answer that for him. He is.
Thanks, Brian. Yes, I will. It's just a case of when. We just need to sort something out. So as soon as we know what the dates are for all of the big US meetups, and I can try and plan something and fund it, then yeah, it will happen. Hopefully this year. I really like to see it this year. Yeah.
Yep. End of July, Seattle meetup.
Okay.
Towards the end of July.
No promises. I'll see what I can do for the end of July. Let's target that as.
I'm just giving you a target because we're going to have a Seattle meetup in like the last week of July.
Okay. We'll see what we can do.
Cool. All right. Lunar Sama asking, what color of TMO50 did I get? I got. What did I get? I got silver top, polycarbonate bottom, and plate.
Nice, good combination.
Yeah, I got to check out. I was at the Seattle meetup on last Saturday, and for those of you that don't know, the people that are running the TMO50 are actually a friend of mine, Kelly, and Colin, an artisan maker that is in Seattle as well. And Colin had 2 fully polycarbonate TMO50s there with him, and I thought it was awesome. I thought it was just a hair light, though. I wish it were a little heavier. But obviously, there's no weight in it, and this was the all polycarbonate version. It looked amazing. Looked great. Felt good as well, the way they had them built up. But I was hoping for just a little bit more weight, so I opted for an aluminum top, hoping that it might increase that just a little bit. We'll see, though.
Stop rubbing it in, Brian. Stop rubbing it in.
Don't worry. We'll get you one. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes, and there's definitely a will. Definitely a will.
That's the new KVD fan shirt. Where there's a will, there's a way.
There's a way. Yeah.
Oh my god. This guy should just hire me to make shirts for him, I swear. Alright. Anyone use this is asking, does WD-40 work for springs? I have no idea, but
it doesn't. It's a penetration fluid, not a lubricant. So yeah, I would definitely don't try that. It's not good.
Don't try
It'll go grey.
Kids. All right.
Dead Baby again strikes fear into the hearts of those that read it. I assume it means his username.
Oh yeah, it certainly does. The Sweaty Yeti donates even more bits, another 250 by the looks of it. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Very nice. Factory of Idols asks, what color Space 65 do you think would look best with Godspeed MT3?
Blue top, silver bottom.
Do the blues match? I don't
know. That's my immediate response without thinking about it too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the colors right now. That's what I'm going back for. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm having a look as well. Where are the colors?
Yeah, I think silver is always a good choice with Godspeed. It's hard to go wrong with silver. If the blues are close enough, that certainly could be a cool idea as well.
Yeah, it doesn't have Godspeed on any of the pictures. The blue looking at it again, the blue looks probably a little bit too dark for it, maybe. Yeah. In which case, I'll probably go for a silver top and a grey bottom. In that case, just mix it up a little bit.
Interesting. Yeah. That could definitely work.
159 asking, can we get more emotes? Do you mean on Discord or on Twitch?
I'm assuming Twitch, because emotes you can get on Discord pretty easily. You just have to have Nitro.
Yeah, and on Twitch it's a little bit more difficult.
On Twitch, we have to I need to look into it again. As a Twitch affiliate, we're very limited on what we can have. Once we make Twitch partnership, which could very well come this year if we see a little bit more growth in the Top Clack channel, we get access to all the custom stuff that we want. So, keep spreading the word of Top Clack. Let's try to build the viewership up, build the Top Clack community up, and make Twitch partner, and then we can get a lot more cool custom stuff for the stream. That's the plan. Benjine saying, FYI, Leaf 60 group buy coming this Sunday or early next week. Yeah, I knew it was coming very, very soon. I just didn't know exactly what day.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think it's a limited, is it 50 units, I think that one? I'm sure I've seen it's 50 units.
Yep. Alright, people talking about the growth of RMK, over 100K this year. So yeah, I would guess a little bit more than 100K for 2019 then. Keep that scale kind of going up. So I'm sticking with 460K.
I'm just looking at the graph that Nebulance, I think it was Nebulant that provided a link for. There was a massive spike at some point early 2018. I'd be interested to see what that was. Yeah, a really massive spike.
Yeah, maybe got shared somewhere very large. Every now and then I browse r/all, and like every now and then you see like an RMK post on like the 3rd or 4th page. Especially back when like Will26 was posting a lot, because that guy just got like ridiculous amounts of upvotes because his photography is unbelievably good.
And do you know what? He's a really nice guy. He's a member of the UK community. He's a really nice guy, and he's also an ISO user as well. I'll just point that out. But yeah, he's a really nice guy in real life as well. The last UK meetup, Chris and I got drunk with him, quite drunk with him, right at the end of a night out. It was a good night. It was a very good night.
Nice. All right, Comb Data 55 asking thoughts on Kale versus Holtite versus Mil-Max hot swap sockets for ease of installation and longevity.
Okay, so ease of installation, Holtites and Mil-Max are about as easy to do. If you're going to go with the Kale ones, you need to design the PCB for them directly. In terms of use, I think the Kale ones are easier to use in real life because in real life usage, because there's no risk of pulling the Kale sockets out, which there is with both the Mil-Max and the Holtites.
Yeah.
So if your PCB doesn't support hot swap off the bat and it doesn't have the Kale ones, then it's a mix up of what you prefer between the Mil-Max and the Holtites. I've tried both. I think they're about the same. I don't think I'd prefer either of them over each other. But if you can and you want really easy to use hot swap, get a board that's pre-made with the Kale sockets in. Yeah,
the Kale, at least in my experience, are certainly the best and most elegant in form of like actually just being a hot swap. But the downside of the Kale ones is you are limited to one layout. In generally speaking, you're limited to one layout, whereas with the other ones, you can kind of put them wherever you want, and you can still effectively have your layouts that you want and not be limited on that.
Absolutely.
Nebulate saying you should come to NorCal. There'll probably be another NorCal meetup in like October or whatever, October, November.
I mean, I wish I could do them all. I genuinely do wish I could do them all.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
realistically, we're going to have to pick one meetup. And that's probably what I'm going to have to do this year. Maybe more next year. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Geo knows what's up. Geo's saying you have to come to Seattle. No planning. Seattle meetup is happening, Jay.
Just there. That's it. Right. Okay. We'll see.
Yep. Awesome. Some people are saying come to KeyCon, which I believe is in New York. That's June 1st.
Yeah. Okay. That might be achievable as well.
Niblin says I need to go to Seattle again so I can punch Brian again and steal another keyboard. Yeah. Yeah, he punched me in the face, took all my keyboards. All right, NGB with what looks to be a very real and very long question says, I have a Realforce V1 TKL at work, and I want to use a separate 10 key with it without having to hit numlock button every time. But the numlock button on the 10 key has to be on for it work, obviously. However, when numlock is on, it automatically turns on the numlock on the Realforce. So if I want to type on the Realforce, i.e. all your alphanumerics, numbers will appear. Is there a way around this?
So this is a similar problem if you're testing another board. If you've got two boards plugged into your PC and you press caps lock on one, it'll turn caps lock on the other board, and that's because it's sending the code to your operating system, and it's the OS that's interpreting that type of key with that command has been pressed, and therefore the feature's turned on, and it affects all of your input devices, whether it's the particular keyboard you're using or a separate device like your numpad. So that's why it's happening. In terms of a solution, I don't know if there is one, if I'm honest.
I feel like if there is a solution, it's going to be at like a software level.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a soft numlock or some other key code that gives the features of numlock on the specific device. I don't know. I'm not sure.
And I mean, obviously, things like a stock Realforce and the numpad aren't going to be programmable.
Yeah.
So
I'm wondering if you could do it via layer integration. So if you had an FN key that took you to a layer where the numlock was on for the numpad, but you'd recoded all the keys on the keyboard to have their standard key codes. I'm wondering if that's a possible option. I don't know. I'd have to test it and try. I'll have a play around at the weekend and I'll see if I can come up with something. And GB, if you want to reach out to me on Discord, or if anyone else has got an idea, just let us know.
Yep, absolutely. Because I definitely don't. Viminderon asking, any build streams planned for tonight? Not tonight. Nope. The next one will probably be Sunday with Jay, and then I have 3 build streams coming up. I will do at least one, but probably 2 of them next week. One of them will probably be either Thursday after the stream or on Friday, or maybe even earlier in the week. I might aim for a Monday or Tuesday night Pacific time. We'll see. Mini build streams coming, but nothing tonight.
Lots of build streams coming. Yeah. So next week it's going to be the Noxery T60 for me. That's going to be on Sunday, which will be early afternoon for you guys in America, but evening for me. And then the following week in the same time slot, it's going to be the Zephyr with Helio's build.
All right. And we are, hooray, fully caught up on questions. Except Benjine does say no limit for Leaf 60, but GB will run for only about a week. Interesting. All right, so I'll have to keep my eyes open for that. I won't make a purchase on either until I see both of them launch and compare. So I will definitely wait on that. But I should be getting one or the other. All right, but yes, fully caught up on questions. Thank you for all of those, guys. Hopefully we got to help you out a little bit.
There is one comment that does make me want to just say something I've spotted as well, though, Brian. There's been a lot of talk about me having to go to a US meetup, but the Pokemon Kid actually points out and says that you need to come to a UK meetup as well, which is pretty fair, I think.
All right, so that's about it that's the end of the stream, guys. Well, he spells Brian with a Y. That's not actually me. I spell it with an I, so he's talking about someone else, clearly.
Well, he might be, but I'm not.
oh shit. Yeah, no, it'll definitely happen. When Top Clack can afford when Top Clack makes enough money to to where that's a feasible possibility, then I will certainly be coming to an EU/UK meetup, and I'm sure it'll be great. We'll have
it will.
I'll have fish and chips, and we'll drink a pint, and I don't know.
We'll do all of those things and more. You won't be drinking just one pint. There will be many pints.
Yay! Good. Yes.
That's a promise.
Maybe
I'll take you out for a drive in one of the cars as well.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yay. Okay, that's something to look forward to, definitely. And maybe I'll be fully converted to the ISO layout, and I'll have to come home and desolder all my boards and rebuild them in ISO.
Absolutely. The reason why the Pokemon Kid's asking is he runs the UK meetups a lot of the time, so okay. he ran the last couple, so yeah.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, Geo says we should try and make it for a 2020 meetup. That's probably doable. It's doable if I just save up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 159 says start a Patreon. Clack actually used to have a Patreon at like towards the beginning of its life cycle. That's what we did before we had a Twitch affiliate, before we had sponsors. I'll be honest, it made us very, very, very little money. So we actually decided to just end it. And that's when we got sponsors. We got a Twitch affiliate, which generated, by comparison, way more money. So yeah, maybe we can open it up again. I've been thinking about it, but we'll see. I also kind of just want to do a direct donate link, because the problem, Patreon has a lot of limitations. A, they take a 10% cut. B, you can't just do one-time donations. You actually have to subscribe, and that was another reason why we didn't like it. You couldn't just donate one time, which a lot of people prefer to do over actually having like a subscription-based thing for us.
For sure. And I think
sorry, go on.
I was going to say, if we do something like that, whether it's direct donations or it's Patreon or something similar, we should do it with a specific function in mind as well. So, like to pay for your tickets to come to a UK meetup, or for me to go to a US meetup or something like that. We should have a really, really specific, objective that's going to try and fund as well, which should be really nice as well for the community, I think.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. And 159 also brings up PayPal donations. I have been thinking about doing that as well, just having a direct PayPal link. Several people have asked me for that are always just like, hey, I just want to donate like one time. And they're like, how do I do that? I'm like, crap, I need a better way to do that. So yeah, that's something I should be able to set up really, really easily. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. Gia says, why do you pronounce Patreon differently in the same sentence? I knew someone was going to call me on it. I know. I'm very aware of that, and I knew someone was going to call me on it. I don't know. I do that all the time, I feel like. I still say Gatoron and Gatoron, like, in different... I don't know. Tomato, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you say tomato?
Tomato, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I actually had this conversation with my girlfriend the other day. I was like, I think only British people say tomato.
Yeah, but to be fair, we invented the language, so our way's the right way, right?
Wow! Well, all words are made up anyways, so...
What else do we do differently? Aluminium. That's
yeah, actually, Talisman Solution says, start working on how to say aluminum the other way, so aluminium.
Yeah. Aluminium, yeah.
I mean, they're all words. I don't really care how they're pronounced. I'll say them however, and as long as people understand what I'm talking about, that's really all that really matters in language.
For sure. And NJ says as well, sodium. How do you guys say sodium?
We say sodium.
Oh, okay, so that's the same then. Okay.
Do people say it differently?
No, well, we don't in the UK. It's sodium. Yeah. They've got a whole lot about spellings as well, like colour with a U in it and flavour with a U in it as well.
Yeah, armor. Favorite.
Yeah.
ZLPC saying, do a paypal.me/topclack donation link instead. Is that how all the cool kids are doing it these days? I actually I don't know.
Yeah, it's easier to do it that way. You do paypal.me/topclack, and then you can put / and then an amount, and it'll take you straight to a page where you can pay that direct amount to whoever. You can use it for any PayPal account, but yeah.
Oh, cool. Very nice. Well, maybe we'll have to get that set up after the stream then. Anyways, we've rambled on for far too long. Regardless, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the keyboard content this week. And, of course,
Absolutely.
we will definitely be back next week. Same time, same place for the main show. Jay has a build stream going on Sunday, so make sure you tune in for that. I will have some build streams a little bit later on. And, yes, go ahead, Jay.
I was going to say HS60 V2 in the Noxery T60. So all of the acronyms on Sunday, and it'll be up on the VOD for those of you who can't make it as well.
Awesome. Cool. So, yep, guys, just normal closing stuff. Make sure you check out the links below the stream. You can hit up our official Discord server, hang out with us there, play some games with us, you know, chat, whatever. There's something for everyone there. We have lots of good channels, lots of good people. Our YouTube channel is linked below the stream as well, so if you want to make sure you can catch any VODs or other guides, typing test reviews coming out in the near future, make sure you subscribe to that YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, and don't forget to check out all of our sponsors and use the user code NewClack if you're checking out Novelkeys, and our affiliate link if you're checking out ZLPC.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys, catch you all later. Have a good night.
Cheers, guys. See ya.